Okay, 8th grade, so today we're back in our reading packet. We're on page 45 today. We're going to be doing pages 45 and 46. We'll do 45 together, and then you guys will do 46 independently for your, homework. So today we're going to be talking a little bit more about figures of speech. The specific figure of speech that we're going to be talking about is we're talking about verbal irony and puns. So a figure of speech uses words to achieve an effect that is different from the exact meaning of its individual words. Puns and verbal irony are the two examples that we're going to be talking about today, and they're used to add humorous effect. So these things are not meant to be taken literally, so you don't read them exactly how they are. So if you look this up in a dictionary, or you explain to someone what this means, it wouldn't exactly make sense because it's just meant to be a joke. So a pun specifically is a play on words. So what that means is that sometimes a pun is humorous because it plays on different meanings of words. Other times a pun plays on the similar sense or sound of different words. Some puns allude or refer to commonly used expressions. So an example of a pun would be, when Alex stumbled a bit on a tree root, his brother asked, "Did you have a nice trip?" So if I said, "Oh, did you have a nice trip?" you would think that I was talking about when you went on vacation or something like that. Well, he tripped on a root, so he's asking, "Oh, did you have a nice trip?" to be kind of a smart aleck and make fun of his brother for tripping. Okay? So the pun plays on two different meanings of the word trip: to catch a foot on something and stumble, and a journey. So when someone returns home from a trip, people often ask, "Did you have a nice trip?" So just like I explained. The second example is, Mary said, "You may not like peas, but I think you should try them. It's important to give peas a chance." So this pun plays on the similar sounds of the word peas and peace, because it alludes to the saying, "Give peace a chance," which I've never heard that saying, but it's fine, no big deal. But there's a saying, "Give peace a chance," and so it's saying it's important to give peas a chance, because peas sounds like peace. The last one says, "You can never starve in a desert because of the sand which is there." So the word sand, I was thinking of how to explain this. So the word sand and which are right next to each other. So that sounds like sandwiches. So it's the similar sound that makes it funny. So you can never starve because of the sandwich is there. Okay, so it's just saying sand and which is close together, sounds like sandwich, but obviously there's no sandwich in the desert. Okay? Verbal irony is the use of words to express something that is opposite of the literal meaning or dictionary definition of the words. So this is like doing the exact opposite of the literal meaning or definition. So when he broke the glass, Ben said, "That was a great thing to do." Breaking a glass obviously is not a great thing to do, so it comes from the fact that he said the opposite reaction than what would have been normal, right? So if he said "Oh, great job," because he broke the glass, obviously he's not doing a great job. They're just saying that to be kind of funny. Okay? Now let's take a look at the practice together. So it says, in each sentence, we're going to highlight as always, but underline the pun or verbal irony. Write P for pun, VI for verbal irony. On a separate sheet of paper, write your interpretation of each and share it with a partner. So I want you guys to do the interpretations of each. I'll do the first one with you, but you guys can do the interpretations of each on your own. But first, let's go through and identify what type of pun or verbal irony it is. So it says, to identify verbal irony, ask yourself, does this sentence say the opposite of what the speaker is really thinking? Sorry, my dog is knocking my stuff around. If it does, you may be reading an example of verbal irony. So the first one says, Gina asked, "May I work at your bakery? I need dough." Okay, so where is the pun or verbal irony in here? It's where it says, "I need dough." What is another word for money? Dough. Okay? Need is talking about kneading the dough, as in pressing on it and That's a bakery term, okay? But here, if you think of it as the need and like as in you need something, NEED, she's saying I need money. Can I work at your bakery because I need money, but also I need dough. So it's making fun of those similar sounding words of need and dough, the meaning of dough, the double meaning of dough. So what is this, a verbal irony? Or if it's talking about different sounds of words, is that a pun? It would be a pun in this case. And we talked about the meaning there, so you can write that down on a piece of paper. I'm not going to write them down, but you can go ahead and write them down on your paper. The next one says, Elias said, okay, slice these loaves, but be careful. Knife accidents are a grave matter. Where is the pun or the funny moment in this sentence? Grave matter, okay? So what grave matter means, that's a saying, just like the saying, give peace a chance. This is a saying. Grave matter means it's just a really serious situation, right? But it has a double meaning because it's also saying that it could put you in the grave, right? Like it could be deadly if you have an accident with a knife. So if it's talking about double meanings and phrases, that's talking about a pun. So we put another P here. And like I said, the meaning of this one, the interpretation of it, is that grave matter is a saying. That means that it's really serious, and also grave as in it could put you in the grave because it's a deadly situation to be in. So the next one says, later, Gina spilled a whole bag of flour. Beginner's luck, Elias called out with a grin. Okay, beginner's luck is obviously our phrase we're looking at here. Now, is that a pun or a verbal irony? Well, in this case, she spilled a whole bag of flour. Is that lucky? No. So this guy is saying the opposite of what it was. He's saying that she was lucky when she really wasn't, right? So if it's saying the opposite of the literal meaning, that makes it verbal irony. So we're going to put VI there. And again, the meaning of this is that she's working for the first time, she makes a mistake, and he says, oh, that's lucky, when it's really not lucky. Okay? As she swept the floor, Gina muttered, this job is loads of fun. Okay? Where is the pun or verbal irony in here? This job is loads of fun, right? What is she doing? She's sweeping the floor, right? Is sweeping the floor loads of fun? For most people, it's not, right? So if we're saying something that's the opposite of its literal meaning, again, what does that make this one? Verbal irony. Because it is not fun. It is not loads of fun to be sweeping up tons of flour that she just spilled all over the floor, right? The last one says, seeing Gina coated with flour, Elias teased, hey, flower girl, where's the wedding? Okay? Where is the pun or verbal irony in this one? This one is going to be flower girl, right? When you have a wedding, there's a little girl that throws flowers, right? She walks down the aisle right before the bride and she throws flowers. Okay? That is Flower, like a flower you would pick, a flower girl. Okay? So he's saying that because she's coated with flowers, she is a flower girl. But he's making a joke based on the way that those words are formed. So the different meanings of words. So if we're using something, using the two different meanings of the word, that would be a pun. So now you guys are going to do page 46 on your own, which asks you to choose the correct meanings of the underlined verbal irony, and this asks you to choose the correct descriptions of the puns. So you guys are going to do that on your own. If you need any help, I'll be available during office hours today.